What's going on, guys? We got a lot to talk about here. All right. We're going to go behind the scenes a little bit too. This is about what Sarah Bond said about the Ally. But this is not about blaming her for anything because we know who's in charge here. But my thing is that there's some things that Tim Dog said too where I'm like, I get what you're saying because honestly, that does make sense. And we're going to go into this. Okay, so let's start off with this Variety article, right? We see that Sarah Bond had reposted. Ally arrives. Xbox President Sarah Bond explains new handhelds steep price. We needed somebody to say something. Prioritizing Windows experience and next-gen console plans heading into 2026. And let's start calling this console a hybrid PC, and they are going to try that internal. Like I said, there's a possibility, and I told you guys, if it is, it's going to be a dual boot. If not, then they are going to go for that OEM model. It's going to be a hybrid aspect. We'll find out more over time. Then I read something about a possibility of them maybe trying a prototype, but remember what they said with AMD. So there's a lot to talk about here. We're going to dive into this. This is not no slamming video or anything. We're just going to see what the hell's going on here because I was like, oh, I need to get into this. I recently was just looking at it. This is something to highlight. All right, so going over, let's talk about what Tim Dog said. Then we're going to get to the Variety. So Tim Dog says, after reading this, Xbox President Sarah Bond reveals that the price tags for Ally $600 and the price tags for Ally X $1,000 were largely determined by the manufacturer Asus. Of course, because it's their in-house, it's their product. This tells you that it is their device. Of course it is. So it's a PC device, obviously. Now, here's my thing with Tim Dog. And he made a very good statement. He says, it's your Xbox when you are doing a showcase. But it's Asus when it has $1,000 handheld. So he's saying that they're trying to shift the blame and say, oh no, it's theirs when it's $1,000. But outside of that, it's an Xbox. That is a problem. I understand what he's trying to say. Because that's like saying, oh, I don't want anything to do with it when it's that, so I'm shifting the blame. Am I really saying that that's Sarah Bond's fault? No, she's media trained. You get what I mean? So she's saying what they want them to say. And Tim Dog's like, okay, well, that's deceptive yet totally expected nowadays. Xbox still has a lot of good people. Yeah, that's what I care about. It's just this kind of stuff ruins it for them and makes it impossible because they're always confusing people. So remember, guys, what we talked about before, and I want to let you guys know, Xbox Althoff, right? This is the guy right here who is going to be the puppet master. And you guys remember I made this video, right? It's right here. AGN Xbox hardware is officially dead. Satya sent an email and chose Judson Althoff to finish it because he's the guy leading. So in the back, I'm telling you, Phil Spencer is tired. He's about to get ready to retire, I believe. This is the guy that she's going to be answering to. This is the guy that is going to be penny pinching and crunching down. And remember, he's a Microsoft suit. He's not a gamer. So he's going to be the guy you need to watch out for. It's going to be answering to Nutella. So look out for this guy. And remember, Amy Hood, all those type of people. These are the people that you need to watch. They're going to be in the back. So when you see stuff like this, remember, she has a say, but to an extent, because we're going to get into her talking about the possibility of a handheld happening. And the reason why she didn't clarify that, she just said possibility, is because you don't know if those guys are going to override you. You can't solidify that. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? They could just not like what they're seeing and shut some stuff down. And there's nothing she can do about it or anybody else because it's the Microsoft Corporation. Now going down here, okay, Tim Dog, I understand why you blocked the comments. We see some stuff like she is not in touch with reality. This is like Microsoft. So Bond should be fired for what she has done. I wouldn't say she did that, dude. She's just hired after it was pretty much damaged. All right, so let's read this. Here we go. Xbox's new handheld device has been out for 24 hours, and the response for the ROG Xbox Ally and the pricier ROG Xbox Ally X has been overwhelmingly positive from early reviewers. There's some people liking it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad device, the X. I just think it's overpriced and that they're doing the AI scam, you know what I mean, with frame gen. But as with every major release within the gaming community, the Ally's launch has prompted questions surrounding costs versus value. That's my thing with it, is the price more than anything. Like I said, people, you can put whatever label you want on it, but it's still going to function the same, so that doesn't change anything. Who exactly the handheld console is meant for? And how the new on-the-go PC-style product made in partnership with Taiwanese electronics company Asus might impact the Microsoft gaming plans for more full-scale Xbox gaming consoles. First up, Xbox President Sarah Bond tells Variety that the price tags were determined with guidance from manufacturer Asus based on the future, or the futures. So basically what she's saying is that Asus wants to make a profit, even if Microsoft gets whatever they get. No matter what, we're getting a profit. So of course they didn't drop the price down with, tariffs and all that stuff that they're going to blame it on, which we know they could have been fine. These companies have so much money. What do you think, the people are suffering, or are they suffering? It's like, come on, man, you guys, they're so super rich. Oh my God, rich people talking about market conditions. Yeah, shut up. So going down, we looked at how do we create multiple options for people, and it really was Asus. So it's their product, it's their say, they're the boss. That's what she's saying. We're not the boss. They decide. Right there in front of you. Because this is their hardware. And what is Asus? A PC manufacturing company that makes laptops and desktops. So she's telling you right there, it's not an Xbox, that it is their hardware, and they decide the price. There's no arguing with this. She's telling you. What does she say? It's Asus, because it is their hardware. It is not Xbox's first party in-house. So it's not an Xbox. She said it. How many times are people going to be saying this? So yeah, respect to Bond for coming out saying that, not confusing the market. Bond said Thursday during a launch event for the Ally devices, that is all of their insight into the market, into the future set, into what people want to determine the ultimate prices of the devices. Despite the steep price, Bond says that when pre-orders opened in September, the reaction was overwhelmingly demanding for the device. We sold out on the Xbox store. Okay, look, my thing with this, man, you guys know I'm not going for it. This is limited stock, but of course, you has to kind of say, you got to say something. You can't just beat down everything if you're representing Xbox, and I understand. You got to say that. So I'm not attacking her, I'm just saying, no. We sold really quickly at a number of other places around the world. Can you please give me the numbers? Of course, they're going to tell her, don't sell the numbers. No, the guys who are hiding the numbers. Like I said, she doesn't rule Microsoft or anything like that. So, and she said, I feel really good about the value that we're giving gamers for the price. Bond, PR, media trained, based off the reception to the hardware. Bond says that pre-launch number results are a real confirmation of something that we know and have been working towards for a really long time, which is gaming should act like all entertainment. It should be something you can have with you anywhere. You should be able to play any game you want with anyone you want on any device, but that's not realistic. You're never getting Nintendo Switch 2 games. You're not getting no Sony games like that. And there's games that are never going to come over. They can say that because that's what they want on their side because they're losing. Big time. So they want other people's games that are winning. What else do you want me to say? Xbox decided to partner with Asus to develop the Ally line of handhelds to really begin to transform the experience and take it to that next level in a way that we could do partnered much quicker in a much more innovative way than we could individually with what we were each doing. Well, you don't know what you're doing, so that would have not went well. And like I said before, that is good because go to somebody that knows what they're doing because that would have been a disaster. Then you would try to do something official and that would have been on your in-house, your department, and there would have been layoffs with that. And it just would have been a disaster. So honestly, I think what they're doing is the right decision to learn. This is your first prototype. This is your first time ever. You think they're going to be perfect? No, it's going to be a lot of problems. And then we see two companies too wanting to say, hey, we're both making profits, so screw them over, right? Nothing different than what these politicians do. And they already have so much money, $4 trillion company, really? And then, Asus they have a lot of money. But like I said, that's how it is. The first step in the process was prioritizing the economic design of the Ally and the Ally X. We took everything we knew about what it took to make a controller, what it actually feels like for things to work in a variety of hand sizes. Yeah. What it feels like to play for 3 hours and worked on the ergonomics of the device to make it super, super comfortable. The Xbox president said it is. I've been to Best Buy, I've picked it up. It is super comfortable. And I have huge hands, you know what I mean? So it is nice. And I can say that's nice. But if you charge me $1,000, you better. I've said this plenty of times. Hey, man, you better? What you mean? Okay, well, once the hands-on experience was sorted, Bond says the Xbox team's next call was to Microsoft's PC department. We partnered with the Windows team to think about the Windows experience on the device and to make sure it was optimized. Bond said, there isn't a keyboard on this. We had to optimize it for controller and touch all the way through the user interface, or UE, you want to say that. all the way through jumping into your game. So Windows is actually built to run on a handheld and on this form factor and on something that is built especially for a gaming product. I think that's what they meant to say. That's okay though. Some early discourses around the Xbox handhelds is questioning who exactly the products are meant for, seeing as Asus is first and foremost focused on PC handheld devices. And there are skeptics who think the ROG Xbox Ally is going to be a little more than an existing Asus product with an Xbox button and branding. While not an internally made product, Bond insists it is Xbox through and through. Lies. Whether you're more of a casual gamer and want an Ally or a hardcore gamer who is eyeing an X, how are you going to say it is their product, but then going to call it an Xbox? Xbox means it comes from you, in-house, from your department, the Xbox in-house. So call some Nintendo, it's coming from Nintendo. Call some PlayStation, it's coming from PlayStation. It is an OEM, and first and foremost coming from Asus with PC launches. No, that's a lie. Of course you're going to say that though, because it's your PR trained to say that. She knows it's a PC device. We want to make sure that people have a choice, Bond says. We want to make sure there's an option for the power players who want the latest innovations, that want to push the edge of what's possible. The most demanding players, and then if someone is looking for PC gaming on the go, they're a casual gaming. Yeah, PC gaming. They're a gaming enthusiast. I tell you, they're confused, man. Then there's Xbox Allies for them, giving multiple choices for people so we can actually meet people where they are. The announcement of the ROG Xbox Allies and the Xbox partnership with Asus also sparked some confusion over whether Xbox was out of the in-house made console game. This is where Bond confirms that the Xbox team is still hard at work. So you're saying the Xbox team, not the Asus team, on its next-gen console. So I could say, okay, you said Xbox and consoles? Okay. Even though it could be a hybrid PC and still be the Magnus PC, but I think if that is the case, it is dual boot. Yeah, dual boot. Otherwise, what else are we doing? Bond confirms the Xbox team is still hard at work on its next-gen consoles, the follow-ups to the Xbox Series S and X, and there's even a possibility of internally made handheld. Possibility. That's why they had to be said, because you can't say that. That's not guaranteed. Definitely when it's like, who's going to help you then? AMD said you got to sell me 10 million. And if AMD said that, then you're going to still sell them 10 million down the line? Unless somebody else is going to make it? Who? They seem to be stuck with AMD, right? That's what they're partnered with. They said 10 million, and Microsoft said no. We're going to go with that. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't see I can take that face value. We're going to see though. I'm open to it, but I'm doubting it big time. You see what I mean? We are 100% looking at making things in the future, Bond said. We have our next-gen hardware and development. We've been looking at prototyping, designing. We have a partnership we've been announced with AMD around it. See, that's too soon. We've been looking. You still tell me you're looking and prototyping. And you didn't say you're complete, getting ready to manufacture. 2026? We have a partnership we've announced. Maybe some type of other OEM model or something that's PC with AMD around it. So that is coming. Like I said, it's AMD. And now you've got your answer about that handheld. What we saw here was an opportunity to innovate in a new way and to bring gamers another choice. Just like Phil Spencer said, what is the point of making another device if it's going to be just like the PlayStation? No, you need to innovate. You need to. Yes, it needs to be different. Dual boot would be different. Hybrid PC aspect and maybe being able to upgrade and set your settings. That is innovation because you're not making the typical stuff that's just like the difference between the Series X and PS5. That's why I said the traditional stuff to me is 100% gone. They're doing something else, like some hybrid aspect. So that's what she's saying. So in addition to our next-gen hardware, we're always listening to what players and creators want. When there's demand for innovation, we're going to build it. Now listening, I don't know what you mean, but we'll see. The launch of the Xbox Ally Next comes on the heels of several price increases at Xbox for both consoles and Game Pass. And just before the holiday season, when Xbox has a slate of much anticipated AAA games, they did a good job with games this year. We still got COD coming, Outer Worlds, and then, they got that deal with Ninja Gaiden. They did a good job this year with that. Everything else, though, now. Bonds notes the frenzy of releases and business updates are the start of a new pace the team is executing. So they still haven't knows about that. There's a ton more innovation to come, including things like further optimizing the experience here, scaling out the handheld compatibility program, offering more benefits and improvements to the experience, and other features and ads that we're going to give people and more choices and more games, Bond says. So there we have it. Basically, there's a confused message here, but I know she's media trained and it's PR. Basically, she's saying that there's a chance that we may attempt the handheld, but I'm going to deny that because I don't believe in it after what they said with AMD. But what I do know is they're trying something in-house at Xbox with AMD and maybe somebody else. And I'm going to go with, like I said, that hybrid PC we've been talking about all year and the dual boot, if that's the case. Other than that, we get the idea that they basically made it clear this is Asus's product and they're in control and they're the boss. and it's their in-house product, so it comes from a PC world. And there it is. So let me know what you guys think about this. As I said, as time passes out, we're going to get more answers later, y'all. Peace out.